Left-Wing Kingz. Listen, think, act, repeat.
Welcome to the Left-Wing King podcast. Today, we're talking about the dangers of presidential immunity, Alabama versus IVF, and P. Diddy facing more sexual harassment allegations. I am the head moderator in charge of HMIC, Malik, and I'm joined today by my queen, Walanda.
What up?
And King Ace.
Hey.
Let's get it. The presidential immunity debate focuses on the idea that a sitting president cannot be prosecuted or sued for actions taken while in office. Donald J. Trump is fighting the D.C. Circuit Court's presidential immunity decision, arguing that he's immune from prosecution for his actions on January 6th because they were within his presidential duties. Now, the Supreme Court has decided to hear arguments on whether former President Donald Trump can claim immunity from prosecution for his alleged role in trying to overthrow the 2020 election. So, Ace, why is this Supreme Court decision so important?
I mean, boy, them Supreme Court appointments, they hit different now, don't they, man? You know what I'm saying? Real talk. They hit different. You know, you put 3 Supreme Court justices out there, and now they get to choose the fate that, was he immune when he did all the crimes that he did? You know what I'm saying? So it's very important. It sets a very bad precedent, you know what I'm saying, when you become, you know, if you allow presidents to be able to get away with anything as long as they're in office. I mean, we going back centuries. We going back before the Constitution, pretty much. We're going to a point where, and even though we have people around the world in other countries that actually act like this, Putin, you know what I'm saying? But we're coming to a point where now, if you let him get away with this, and he gets a second term, I mean, man, what is he gonna get away with, man? What is he gonna be able to do? Like that SEAL Team 6 thing is gonna be reality. You know, he's gonna take out, you know, Biden. He's gonna take out Obama. He's gonna take out anybody, Liz Cheney. You know, anybody he wants to. Anybody says anything about. He already reacts crazy when you just say something against him. Now, just think if he has the power to do anything. Hey, you know what, man? I got immunity, so you can't do anything to me while I'm here. So, no, man, we're setting ourselves up for something that America's not ready for. That it's not used to.
Yeah.
Definitely agree. It's like a little Putin coming, a little Putin Jr. The Supreme Court shapes our constitutional guides, like it guides us, all of our principles. So again, if he is immune and they say that he has immunity, that means he can do whatever he wants. Now you have a king instead of a democratic process. So to me, it's just going to completely shape how we even govern ourselves as a whole. So something definitely to look at. What was I going to say? And then definitely just furthering the delays. That's what I think this is. Just delay, instead of actually addressing the topic at hand.
It's a strategy.
Right. So I think in that, the Supreme Court, it's got to definitely be careful on how it's walking. You're talking about Supreme Court, it's not supposed to be political in any ways, but what's happening is it's taking a political stance by delaying what is happening with Trump. So, and they have the power to do so. It's getting a little scary.
Yeah, it's funny that you bring that up, a delay tactic, because in this case, Jack Smith asked the Supreme Court to hear this prior to it going to the D.C. Circuit Court, and the Supreme Court said no.
Yeah.
Why? Are they helping in this delay? I mean, they could have, if they were going to decide to hear it later on, they should have just did it then.
Yeah.
And not worry about what the DC Circuit Court was going to do, because you want to step in and you feel, because what they're saying now, what I hear them saying is this is important because the Supreme Court should have a say in what the outcome is, right? The DC Circuit Court made a decision, but we should have a say.
Not really.
You know, but I'm just saying that's what they say, right? And that's why they're doing it. But if that's the case, you should have did it in the first time Jack Smith asked you to do it.
Yeah. So we could have time to have the trial. So yeah, looks like they're helping them a lot. You know, I don't think it's ironic or it's a coincidence that Clarence Thomas's wife is all embedded in January 6th, and now he gets to make a decision. We know which way he's gonna vote. You know what I'm saying? The other 2 judges that Trump appointed, I don't trust them either. You know what I'm saying? I don't. You know what I'm saying? So, wow, it's just crazy that this is. You know, it's funny that this is even something we're talking about.
Right.
A president that committed heinous crimes against this country basically has a loophole that he's playing through to get out of it. You know what I'm saying? That's actually what's happening,
Mhm.
And so let's look who's at fault at this. Mitch McConnell, right? He made it possible. One, he blocked the fact that Obama wasn't able to appoint a judge, right? He went out of his way to do that. Then he rushed and allowed Trump, and we say Mitch McConnell, but let's talk about the Democrats too. You know,
Mhm.
you know, you allow Mitch McConnell to manipulate things and allow him to put these judges here. So when history looks back at this, and when they look back at this,
Mhm.
it's gonna be ugly. You know what I'm saying? It's people right now that are, and like, oh, it's a coincidence. Mitch McConnell now all of a sudden he's gonna step down from the Congress in November and all this. And he just announced that. Yeah, I'd get the hell out of here too if I was you. You know what I'm saying? Because your name is gonna be ugly when it comes to history on what you did and what you allowed to happen, getting these judges in here. If these judges make this guy immune and this guy comes out and pardons himself and does all kinds of crazy stuff that he's already done. Everything we're talking about Trump doing, he's done it.
Mhm.
His border wall scam that he had, he pardoned everybody on that. He pardoned Michael Flynn. He pardoned, which was with the Russian scandal. Everything we're talking about are things that he's done, crimes that he's committed, and we're allowing him to have a loophole to get out of it. Why? I don't, why is that? How is that even possible?
Yeah.
And so it's just disgusting.
The thing that I find interesting in all of these 90 whatever charges he has against him is that instead of fighting the cases, he's trying to find technical loopholes to get out of going to court. That does not tell me that you feel you're innocent.
Oh,
that tells me that you're afraid of actually having to go to court and fight something. It's just like anybody. Like, if I know I was doing something wrong and I got to go to court about it, I know for certain that, hey, they going to find out. They know that I did this or did that. But if I felt like I was innocent, I didn't do anything.
I'm trying to get that quick, fast, in a hurry.
Exactly. I'm like, I'm going to go fight this. Have you ever been like pulled over for like something you didn't do and you was like, I'm going to court on this shit?
Always.
Because you're going to fight that shit. He ain't like, I'm going to court on this shit. He like, man, how can we get out of going to court on this shit? You know what I'm saying?
He knows he did it. And witch hunt. Come on, man. And witch hunt comes from what? Salem witch trials, which we figured out those people weren't witches. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's a witch hunt. That's a witch hunt.
Right.
I mean, they making up stuff on you that ain't true.
Yeah.
Bro, not only are they not making up stuff and they had evidence, like you took them documents, but you said you took the documents.
Right.
We heard you say you got the documents. We heard you tell us what's on the documents. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so this witch hunt, this victimization that he comes up with, this I'm being oppressed, and because I'm black, you sneakers and mugshots don't oppress me, that I'm being oppressed, and all this stuff, like nonsense. He did everything.
Yeah.
And like you said, he's using stall tactics. He's using the rules of the court against them to get out of it.
Yeah.
And it's just scary that, okay, man, he set all the dominoes up now to where it's a strong possibility he might get out of this. You know what I mean? Maybe not strong, but it's, it's a possibility, which is scary.
Yeah.
That these two goons, or these three goons, Clarence Thomas being the leader, might just let this guy go, and jumping in the case they don't have to be in. The Supreme Court don't have to take your case.
No,
they don't. They choosing to take this one at the time they choosing to take it is very skeptical. Like you said, they had an opportunity to take this and cast a judgment. We could have been done with this already.
Yeah.
Now they doing it to where Jack Smith and them running out of time to get the January 6th case done. So it's all strategic.
Yeah. So with this presidential immunity thing, let's say presidents had absolute immunity. Let's just say theoretically they did. What would happen to the balance of power between the executive, legislative, and judicial branches of our government?
It would collapse the system of separation of powers completely, like desolate them. I mean, that's it. That's just saying you can do whatever you want anytime, and it's okay to do. It's okay to murder. Like you said, I think we had a conversation about typically what it's supposed to be used for. Immunity is so it shelters them in case of them doing their position. So if I have to send your child off to war and your child dies, you can't come back and sue me later saying, well,
Right.
you sent my child to war and now here you have murdered, indirectly my child, and now I'm going to sue you. It shelters them from those kind of situations. It does not shelter them from insurrection, from defrauding the government. We have to understand what is the purpose of immunity itself and what is not supposed to protect. It does not protect criminal activity. Or direct criminal activity. It's supposed to shelter them and help them with their job, being able to make tough decisions. And unfortunately, in war, right, people die. But is that murder? No. And then why is it not? Because of things like this.
Yeah, I mean, I think we got a prime example on what this world's going to look like if this comes through. I mean, look at Navalny. You know what I'm saying? In Russia, it's stuff like that where it's going to be just so happen as a coincidence that this dude went to prison and died because he wasn't feeling good or whatever the case may be. It's going to be all kinds of mess up. Just so happened that the other dude who opposed him, his helicopter was flying or whatever, and it just blew up all of a sudden. You know what I'm saying? That's the kind of nonsense we're gonna have. You know what I'm saying?
Let me ask you this about what you just said. Well, would it even be worse? Because if the president's immune, I think Putin is actually trying to make it look like he didn't do anything, right?
Yeah.
But if you got immunity,
it don't matter what you do.
I don't give a fuck.
Well, but I think that's world court. You know what I'm saying? He's trying to make him. I think in Russia he don't care. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, in Russia, but the world. I mean, if we got immunity over here, I don't think Trump would give a. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
But look at the playbook, man. With Russia, Russia kind of closes their citizenship off in the world, and they kind of run the narrative when it comes to what the Ukraine war looks like or anything outside of Russia. I mean, according to people probably in Russia who don't have a lot of access to things on the outside. I mean, shoot. Everything's okay. So then I can say this and I can say that happens. We criticize them from the outside. I think Trump would try to, in the world court still look like, hey, ain't over here murking nobody when he actually is. We know he is. I mean, he's lying like that now. So imagine when he has immunity, what he can kind of get away with. He's always going to try to make himself look like he's good and he's doing something. I don't think he's going to just be blatantly not caring, but it's going to be ugly. Either way it goes.
Well, I mean, when it comes to like checks and balances, for me, I kind of think of it in a way like, okay, let's say the president says, I want, let's say Biden says, I want you to pass this bill that says all student loans are paid off. All right. He said, I want this bill. You get what I'm saying? Let's say they all vote and some people vote no. Well, I have immunity. So I'm going to put you in jail.
Yeah.
Because you voted no. I'm going to have you killed because you voted no. So if you don't vote yes on shit I want, you're going to be in jail or you're going to be dead. And then I have a track record of doing this because guess what? I have presidential immunity. I can do it's within the scope of my job.
Yeah.
Right. And so then you start the checks and balances go away because the way it's supposed to be is
accountability.
They vote for whatever and it stands. And then the president has the opportunity to veto something if he doesn't agree. Right. But then there are consequences for vetoing shit that gets voted in. Most presidents don't want to veto shit. Right. So these are all the checks and balances that go into play. And then there's also the judicial side that's supposed to come in and do shit like this, like with the Supreme Court. Let's say the Supreme Court makes a decision or he tells the Supreme Court, I want you to vote this way on Roe versus Wade. If you don't, you know what I'm going to do. The same thing I'm doing to these senators.
SEAL Team 6.
Something going to happen to your family.
Yeah.
Some, you know what I'm saying? Like if he can, that's what I think. When I think checks and balances and what could happen if they have immunity, they could just scare everybody. He already scaring half the people into doing shit just off of his name and threats that people have. Imagine if he had immunity. Or imagine if any president had immunity. Wouldn't you want to be president if you could have immunity from any crime? Everybody be running for president. Shit.
Yeah. I mean, you think about it. I mean, you want to say Hitler, but we going back to ancient Rome, Julius Caesar, where I'll just march the 101st Division, down on the Capitol and surround the Capitol until y'all make a decision on what you want to do. I mean, it can get crazy. Come on, think about January 6th, what we're talking about that he's fighting to get immunity for. Think about what he did already, and he's saying he should be immune from that. Now just think about it if he has the power to do that now without any repercussion. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I'll just order, the 101st Airborne to go down to the Capitol next January 6th. Next time we're trying to do the vote, get the vote through for presidency, and y'all either gonna do it or people going to jail or people gonna die.
Yeah.
They had nooses out there, bro. You know what I'm saying? They had nooses out there. They had a lot of ex-military people that made strategic plans to stop the vote for being ratified. You know what I'm saying? So that's without any power. He did that without any backup with presidential immunity. So we give him immunity, which he's trying to get immune on January 6th, which he came close to pulling off already. Well, just imagine next time he runs for president, if he comes any close, close to lose it, I'm just gonna go down there and take it.
Yeah.
Just think if he wants to make an example of people at the border and make it a real crisis, not just say it's a crisis. I'll just send people down there to do it, no matter what, no matter what's said. So yeah, it's gonna give somebody power in a system that isn't supposed to give one man power.
Yep.
So
how could this decision or just presidential immunity impact the 2024 election or even future elections?
Hopefully, the hope is, let's say the Supreme Court does do that. The hope would be that would turn off real Americans and real patriots, and they'll go to the ballot box and they'll still vote him out anyway because they'll be too scared on giving him that power. I mean, that would maybe it shoots him in the foot. Guys say, yo, hold up, man. This is a little too much. I mean, I like Trump, but I don't want this dude to have immunity.
Right.
Maybe somebody, some people come to their sense and say, look, I like him for whatever reason I did, but I do believe that we was probably crooked in January 6th. I don't want to give him that power to be able to do that without any anything happening to him. So yeah, hopefully the hope is that even if this goes through, the Supreme Court is stupid enough to do it and vote on it. He shoots himself in the foot and he doesn't win the 2024 election. And we know, and this goes away. That would be the hope. But unfortunately, I just don't have any faith in American people like that. Just don't.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I want to say people still believe in accountability, though. And so with that, you don't have any accountability. And I think that is the problem with what's happening now in the government is people are frustrated. It's like there's no accountability. I can get up there, say one thing, not follow through on my promises, and then get reelected year after year. That is why people keep saying they want change and I need something different. And I don't want the status quo and, the old, democracy. And I need somebody new in there. And that's why they like Trump. But I think people still believe in accountability of actions. And so with immunity, you decrease that. So I just feel, well, hopefully, again, with the Supreme Court, if they don't rule or if they do rule in that position, like you said, people come out there and vote and use their voice.
And I just don't think they believe in being anything about accountability because they haven't held anybody accountable. They haven't held Trump accountable. They haven't had Clarence Thomas accountable. They haven't held Mitch McConnell accountable. The true base Republican basically turns a blind eye on everything that they do. There's no accountability. And that's the scary part about it. I don't understand the end game of them if they give him what he wants. Just don't. Somebody has to sit down and explain that one to me. If you give Trump everything he wants, what's the end game? Because he hasn't promised you anything. Or he's done nothing to give you nothing. So change, yeah, we like to see some change. But I don't think that's the change you want right there. Hey, man, let's give this dude immunity, give him all the power. He's going to take care of us. The New York trial should show right now, Trump don't take care of business. He don't do things on the up and up right now. That's why they're suing him in New York. I always said this when Trump came out. Trump's from New York. Never heard one New Yorker, Republican, Democrat, support Trump, come out and endorse Trump. Nobody from that area. You know what I'm saying? That's like going to your neighborhood and nobody have good things to say about you. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they got all bad things to say about you, 9 times out of 10, you was bad. If you was cutting up in your neighborhood and you had a bad reputation, we go to your neighborhood and ask them about you, they gonna tell us the truth. Nah, you know what? He was a thug. He was breaking into people's houses and shit. No, we don't trust him. That's what New York says about Trump. But for some reason, somebody in Ohio living in a rural town thinks this dude is going for him. People in his own neighborhood don't mess with him. That's why they suing him now. And it ain't a witch hunt. They got the documents and all the things on his business to let you know he was crooked. Right. We want to give this guy power.
Right. You know he's crooked. He don't pay taxes, y'all. He does not pay tax and then tells you he does not and tells everybody else they're dumb for paying them.
Well,
That's the kind of person you're dealing with.
I don't want y'all to be dumb. I want y'all to be smart and click that like button.
I'm glad
Okay.
you hear one out. He can
Make
do it
sure
to you this time.
you click the like button. Make sure that you subscribe to Left-Wing Kingz and also share this content with all your social media platforms. Now, let's get into some of the comments that we have on our live stream real quick. Let's see here. We got. Sorry about the.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Join the conversation, man. You know, we're having a good one today. Encourage your friends to join.
All right, so we got a few comments here. We got Peter J. Milner, my man from the UK, says the real question is, should we call him Genghis Trump or Donald Khan?
Yeah.
Agree.
Peter, man, do me a favor, man. Throw in the comments what time it is over there.
You
man,
with your time scheme.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
So,
you know, I'm not gonna go do the Google and all that, man. Just put it in the comments for me.
we got Dr. Carla Sizer. She says, if it were anyone else, President Obama wouldn't even wear a tan suit. So if it were anywhere else, President Obama wouldn't even wear a tan suit. No balance.
Yeah, no,
She
not
says,
at all.
vote.
Please.
All right. Let's see. And Peter also says, or could it be that Anakin Trump now wants to be Darth Vader?
There you go.
I love the Star Wars
Yeah.
reference. You know, that's my boys right there.
5:22.
Don't even do Darth
5:22
Vader like
PM.
that.
It's 5:22 p.m. They good.
Okay,
They
they're good. They're good.
All right, so Dr. Sizer says, I think the Supreme Court will not allow this. But if people don't vote and he gets in office, the whole case is shot.
Yeah.
However, the Supreme Court will likely delay everything.
Yeah.
End game, they haven't thought that far in advance. The precedent is being set. Yeah, that's the thing, man. Like, it's a precedent-setting situation. And when we talk about, like, how will it impact 2024 election and future elections? It's not only Trump that we need to worry about.
Yeah.
We don't even know who else is coming. Right. And we don't know what they might want to do. So this is a precedent-setting thing where we start making presidents immune from prosecution and do whatever they want. It's going to set us up for failure. That's all I got to say about that. Now, I also wanted to know, like, what are some things a president should have immunity from? Because to your point, Walanda, there was a point that you brought up that, hey, this is the intent. Now, it's not in the Constitution or anything.
Yeah.
But it is kind of like taking, hey, the president's immune from certain actions. What are some of the things that we think they should be immune from?
Right. Like we said in the death and war, official acts, executive orders.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's part of what being the president, you can do executive orders, national security decisions, and of course anything that's avoiding compromising the United States. So these are really big, broad, national security issues.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But anything else, no. I mean, to me, no one, like we keep saying over and over again, should be above the law. And that includes the, president in chief. So if it's not still dealing directly with United States and national security, then I say no. And again, like wars, death and wars is probably the biggest one. You shouldn't come back and have to be able to, have a criminal charge against you for making decisions that are for the greater good.
All right, okay, listen, I'm gonna help it out, man. We're gonna take this to Trump world, make him feel good. Really. Trump made some bad decisions when it came to COVID. A lot of people died. He made some bad decisions. He decided not to tell us. He decided to lie about it. He went on and said it. He went in on and admitted that. Okay. Should we be able to go back and say, all right, Trump, somebody died in COVID and you told us that you lied?
No, we shouldn't.
See what I'm saying? It's a common sense decision to make when it comes to what the presidency does. He made a bad decision. We hated it. A lot of people died for it. Should Trump go to prison for that? No. Probably not. You know what I'm saying? He was the president. Presidents make decisions that unfortunately lives get taken. We all understand that. That's what presidential immunity for it. It's not a hard definition for it.
Right.
But if a sitting president sits around in a rally and says, hey, let's go march down and let's go down here, and people get killed out of it, and we know we have, and let's say what they're trying to say, Trump did it and it was on a whim and he just said it out of being emotional and they went down and did it and people got killed. Probably wouldn't be in trouble for that either, because he just was saying a speech. People took his word out of context, and that's what they did. That's what they're trying to say January 6th is. The problem with what really happened is y'all been planning this for months. Y'all been trying to do this. You know what I'm saying? This was the plan to do this. Oh, by chance, you had a rally on the day we ratify the president of the United States. You even tried to get your vice president to change it over.
Right.
You even went and got some fake electors. You did all kinds of stuff.
Right.
Other than just have that speech.
Right.
That's the problem with January 6th. It's not that he just said some things and people acted on it, because he's the president. You're right. 9 times out of 10, he'd be immune to that. But no, not after we got a whole slew of evidence that showed you plan to take over the government, and this was actually a coup. You know what I'm saying? And not only that, one of the sitting judges, his wife was involved with that. Bought buses for people to go down there. She was in the planning stages of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's messed up that not only are you trying to talk presidential immunity, but the person gonna get you off was involved with it.
Right.
Yeah.
Appointed, or at least somebody who supports you and you're aware of it.
So let me ask you this. All right, there are some things that he should be, or that any president should be immune from, that acting within your job. So should we amend the Constitution to like put a list of some specific actions so that we don't have this argument ever again? Like, these are the things that a president's immune from.
Look, I breathe hard because let me first just tell you what you have to do to get an amendment, though.
I know it's not
okay.
easy.
So
You got to go through a whole lot.
yes, to propose it, first you have 2/3 vote of the House and Senate, or you can have a constitutional convention of 2/3 of state legislators. So that
Never gonna get that because the MAGA Republicans is just.
And then ratification, 3/4 of states, so that's 75%. Legislators and 3/4 of the states. Legislators or 3/4 of the states. The probability of that is so difficult. Look where we're at. We got Republicans that don't agree with other Republicans. They're fighting within their own party. So I think I would like that, but just where we're at right now, with people being in agreement and being able to compromise, I don't see that with such high numbers. That's 3/4. That's a lot.
I mean, I don't want to sit here and act like I was in the room when Thomas Jefferson was writing the Constitution and the forefathers were putting it together. But I think some things they left for common damn sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah,
No.
yeah. But I think in presidential immunity, I get it, but I think we should be smart enough, and I know we're not, because Trump just turned the whole world upside down with common sense. But I mean, we should have enough common sense to say, all right, this is a crime that he shouldn't be charged for because he should have presidential immunity. But this one isn't. Just like, if the president just started, hey, you know what I'm saying? I'm just going to start robbing banks. I'm the president. You know what I'm saying? Would he have presidential immunity? I think common sense tells us no, he wouldn't. You know what I'm saying? But because all these technical legal, we got the #1 con man in the world who ran for president and been in court his whole life. So he's utilizing the court system to his advantage. And it's just horrible that now we probably do need to go define the damn, presidential immunity, because nobody ever thought we'd have to do that because we thought we had common sense.
Exactly.
Right. And I think we do need to, like you said, we do need to define it, I think. And two things, common sense, ain't no such thing. I'm gonna tell you right now, we got processes in place because, and you know this, somebody will do something. It'll be common sense to do this, set up this meeting, or let me know, talk to this person and let them know there's a meeting and get what time they can meet before you set up the meeting. That makes sense, right? But we got people at some people's job that don't do that. They just set up a meeting and then tell somebody later, well, you have to be there. No, I don't. Look, I don't got time. This time is booked, whatever. That's common sense.
Yeah.
But some people don't do that. It's just what it is. Everybody doesn't think the same way.
Yeah.
And then also, it's hard to amend the Constitution, but things that just because something is hard to do doesn't mean it's not worth doing. Just because it's hard to do, there's a lot of things in life that are hard to do. And usually the things that are hard to do are the things that are most worth doing, because people are trying to put things in your way to stop you from doing it and make it difficult. And when we sit back and say, well, that's just too hard to do, I don't think that's ever going to happen. Somebody's in the background going, yes, exactly what I wanted. I made it hard like this on purpose so that you wouldn't do it. So
like voting.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're going to make that shit hard on purpose. Yeah. So basically, I think, it's hard to do, but I think that we sometimes just need, there's been a bunch of amendments to the Constitution. There have been, not recently, but there have been. We'd still be slaves
Oh no.
I mean,
I'm just saying, like, we're
No,
just
well,
such an
there's been shit that's happened, like, and we sit back and act like, well, we're not gonna do it because it's not worth it. It is worth it.
yeah.
Oh, I agree with you. I'm just saying where we're at right now, I just don't see it happening. And I'm an optimist. I'm just saying I do agree.
The question
I'm
is,
just saying
should we
it's
do
just-
it?
Right. Oh no, I said yes. I said definitely yes, but just understand the process is going to be a challenge. And again, if people cannot talk to each other and people cannot hold real conversations, we do all this crazy. The Congress right now is just, it's like a clown show. It's crazy that they won't even talk to each other. They won't even bring it to the floor to speak about it. That's what I'm saying would probably be the problem.
Mhm.
Yeah. So back to the comments real quick before we shift lane to the next conversation here. We got Peter from the UK. Once again, he said it was when Trump came out and said all you Americans should inject yourselves with bleach that he lost all credibility. I agree with that. That was just dumb. And he said, here in the UK, we have a saying, which is an expert is an actual fact, only a drip under pressure. Trump is
Wow.
case in point. So agreed 100%.
Mhm.
Now, with all of that going on, we also got some other state Supreme Court decisions, and one of them was the Alabama State Supreme Court.
Oh man.
So the Alabama Supreme Court embryo ruling has shocked the fertility community to its core. The court ruled that frozen embryos created through the in vitro fertilization process are considered children under the state's wrongful death law. This means that anyone involved with IVF embryo development who destroys or damages an embryo could be charged for killing a person. So, Walanda, does this decision make a damn bit of sense?
No, but it's sad though. I had to go do my research on this one because I wanted to understand, like, how did we even get to this conversation? And so what I found out, there was a couple who did IVF and they had embryos, and 2 of those embryos were damaged by someone who actually worked there. And so it fell, they were damaged. And so now they called it the wrongful death of a minor act. And I was like, how does that fall on the death of a minor? When I think of a minor, I think of outside the uterus, right? An individual living and breathing today. But the ruling was that, yes, it does follow under the minor. It's called the wrongful death of a minor act. And I was like, wow. So now a parent can claim under this act, if a fetus develops in uterus, something happens to it due to whatever incident, then now they basically can apply that law. It's applied to an embryo that exists in a lab, which that's never happened before. And this ruling was back in 1872 before IVF. So I was like, wow, this is nuts to me. Because when I think of life, I think of outside of the uterus surviving. So to me, it's a sad predicament. I get it, because there's people who want to have children who can't. And it's excruciating what they go through in order to have children. And then on the other hand, I'm thinking, okay, so now, what is life? What are we holding true? Now I can be, if as a parent, if I have these additional embryos, what do I do with them? I can't discard them because now I'm going to be a murderer. You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to have life, and me trying to have life, I also have to protect the life that to me doesn't exist at that moment in time. Just my personal, opinion in regards to an embryo, but it's crazy and scary. It's like contradictive of itself. Do you fight for life? And in fighting for life, you can now become a murderer if you don't protect all the life.
Yeah, I mean, people are really blurring the lines when it comes to this. It's just, it's just crazy. I mean, does this affect STEM research now? You know what I'm saying? Because it's just like nuts, man. Stem cell research, does it affect that? You throw something away and all of a sudden, you committing murder. You know what I'm saying? And I think my take from it a lot is this happened when people they're in the process of already doing this. Like, they're using in vitro fertilization so they can have children. All of a sudden you pass this law, you put them now in jeopardy. Like, it's just, to me, an overreach from a party who doesn't like overreach. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They talk about, like,
Want you to be able to do what you want.
It's okay for you to overreach when it comes to abortion and in vitro fertilization and all of that. But, anything else, taxes. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, y'all are taxes, man. Big government. You know what I'm saying? Well, what the hell is this? I can see if somebody was doing this and it was for the wrongdoings, or it was just for profit or whatever. But a lot of this is changing lives and people who can't have children and just benefiting off of the technology that we have to do this. but then they want to turn it biblical, and say, here the good Christian nationals that like to twist the Bible the way they wanted to twist when Jesus didn't make it that way. God said life is when a breath is taken. You know what I'm saying? If you just want to get technical with the Bible, you know what I'm saying? But all of a sudden now they want to try to justify their wrongdoing and put God's word on it. Nah, stop doing that, Christian nationals. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not what it is. So hearts out to the people, man, that are just trying to really be out there. And of course, people are abortion, ain't enough kids out there, but people who can afford this process, they're going out and having children and building families. Heart out to them, man, because this comes out of nowhere and that puts them in the crunch just because somebody wants to technically, politically make a name for themselves and overreach. Because that's basically what it is. It's a political game being played now with with abortion. These people just making a name for themselves. Greg Abbott, you know what I'm saying? You don't care, about these people and families. You just want to appear to your base that you're doing something. A base that's misled by false prophets call themselves Christian nationals. So
exactly. And just to let you know, embryos are 8 cells and they're microscopic. I mean, I'm just saying, you know what I mean? When we're talking about something that's a microscopic 8 cell, I got to need a microscope to actually see it versus a baby or something, our children outside running around in the park. So these are the conversations that we're having. So it's not like splitting hairs. It's pretty serious as far as what we're actually constituting as life.
Some of these people to challenge the science are the same people that do things to animals to make them better so they can make profits off of them. They're cattlemen and ranchers and stuff like that mess with embryos and stuff like that with animals. How you think we learned this? You know what I'm saying? They do that to enhance the animals,
the food
so they
supply
can go
and everything else, right?
To make a profit. But then you want to sit around and have a problem. And these people are rule people 9 times out of 10 are with the Republican Party. You know what I'm saying? They vote for people who vote against this. When this is the way you make a livelihood, and you don't want nobody to start saying, "Hey, well, you know what, man? If you kill a cow's embryo, now you commit murder." You know what I'm saying? Or you try to enhance it, or you do whatever you want to do to try to make it better, or you do anything towards a calf or whatever to do that. It doesn't have to be in vitro fertilization. It could just
be
a
criminal offense, right?
Because according to them, you're manipulating life, which that's something God should be doing. Well, I got you on that, but you know what I'm saying. But you do it to make a profit,
right? Every day.
Yeah. So, how does this impact patients out there struggling with infertility?
Oh man! Well, now 2 of the 8 fertility clinics now they pause their treatment. The concern of civil and potential criminal legality for the people actually doing IVF, and then actually the doctors doing it. And if people don't understand IVF, if you go ahead and research it, typically what they do is they use multiple embryos, right? And maybe only a couple take. That's what happens with these families. Like they tell them the more that that we try, then that's typically why you get twins and quadruplets and triplets and things of that nature. So now it's like people are just stopping. Like there's a pause on, they don't even know because they don't understand, like, is this criminality? Like if I transfer an embryo and somehow it's damaged, now is that a criminal offense that I've committed? So as a doctor, these doctors are like, I don't want to engage in this because I'm not trying to go to court. I'm not trying to go to jail. Basically trying to help a couple having babies. So now it's been paused
instead of the doctors. Because the doctors are next question. I want to focus on the patients.
On the patient. Well, definitely on the patients too. So it says there's over 1.5 million embryos currently frozen across the U.S. So are those people in trouble? Because now they got frozen embryos. So what do? They just keep them frozen.
Well, it's only Alabama right now.
So. Right. You're right. In Alabama, I'm just saying the state this is a state, a state problem right now. But I'm like, I don't know. As far as if I was a parent, I would be afraid. I don't want to go to jail trying to have a baby. Can you imagine? I'm trying to give life, but then I may lose my life trying to have one. I mean, criminal charges, and that is what it is. It's criminality now in Alabama.
Yeah, and they picked Alabama strategically. They look at Alabama. When you look at the GOP, they want to go where they think they can win this court, so they can set a precedent and they can move it everywhere else. Just like when they wanted to take Trump off the ballot, Democrats went to Colorado. That was going to be the easiest place to kind of get it started. We set up a precedent, and now we try to move it across the nation and eventually get the federal government to vote on it. So, yeah, I mean, right now it's Alabama. But Texas and Florida ain't too
Oh,
far
yeah.
behind, and if they ain't too
Mhm.
far behind, then it's Arizona.
All the
then-
southern states, right?
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And then there we go with that. So that's why you got to look at it the way you're looking at it right now. Is why, what are we doing, and who's doing it? You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So
I think
the patient, like you said, in their situation, once again, it's sad. You have a couple that's been planning on trying to have this family. They went through all the paperwork and all the legalese to try to get this done. All of a sudden, this is passed, and it turns their whole life upside down. So you can't do nothing but send your heart out to those people that
Right.
really truly want to have a family and trying to get some things done.
Yeah, I agree. These patients out there, they've been planning. They want to have their own child. Like they may be infertile, but they want to use their own egg, their own sperm,
Yeah.
whatever,
You can do it,
or
right.
sperm from someone else that they know, whatever. And this is partly, at least, their child, right?
Mhm.
They have options,
Mhm.
right? So what can these patients do? They can go adopt. Maybe they don't want to adopt. Maybe they want to have their own,
Genetics, right.
genetically, biological child. You know what I mean? And now this takes that away from them. So they have to determine if they still want to be parents, first and foremost. Like, do I still even want to be a parent now? Or, are they going to adopt? Are there other options out there for them? I don't know. It just, like you said, throws a monkey wrench in their plan, and just kind of, it's very sad for someone who's been trying, because sometimes you try for a long time before you are successful. I think you
I
have
did.
friends.
I tried for a
Yeah.
long time before I was
Yeah,
successful.
but you didn't have to use in vitro.
We have friends who've done in vitro, and I have people who have
Mhm.
done it on a personal level, and it's actually a painful process too. People don't understand what the woman goes through. You give yourself shots.
What?
Yes, you
Mhm.
have to have, it's a long process, and it's very expensive. Like, people don't understand. Like, people really, in order to want a child, you are really wanting a baby. I'll tell you that. You really want this
Pain
for yourself.
involved?
Pain is involved. There's shots involved, especially for the female.
Imagine the conversation when that kid grew up and is acting up like,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? For real. You know what I'm saying? I was
Exactly.
taking shots and shit. You want to act like this? Okay, get your
True.
shit together.
Right.
You complain about your shit, and I had to take all kinds of shots to
Yes.
bring your ass into this world.
For
It
real.
is a lot, timing and everything. And it's interesting to me because abortion terminates pregnancy, but IVF, provides that for them. So it's just weird that
What the hell are
we're
y'all
even
doing
having
over
a
there?
conversation about it. I'm like, this is crazy, but you're almost lumping them together, so making it very difficult for people. Right.
Yeah, well, I think
I'm
that, and they look at
confused.
it like, and to the whole full scheme of things, I think they look at when you throwing away extra embryos, those can be babies. I mean, that's the only
Yeah, that's
thing
how they're looking at it.
I'm
Right.
thinking of it. I mean, that all
But that's
falls.
the process.
Yeah, but
That's
that
the
all
point.
falls back to, I'm
It's
sorry,
okay.
man.
It's
God
all right.
dang it. That all falls back into put it there, dummy. You know what I'm saying? That all falls into the fact that, like, is there a grand scheme of let's not become a minority by the majority, Caucasian, white, whatever you want to call them? Because abortion, in vitro fertilization, those aren't minority problems. You know what I'm saying? We reproduce. Hispanics reproduce like son of a bitch. Not to say anything, but that's why their numbers are rising. Now all of a sudden, all these political cases and people that are fighting it are going it because they're looking at the numbers and the Caucasian race is dwindling. So we don't want abortion no more. Can't throw away no embryos. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's some out there, but I don't know too many people that I know that are my hue that did that. They usually have the opposite problem. They can't stop having fucking babies. You know what I'm saying? So where's the strategy of this and politically, and why is it just so important that it's the GOP, which is a predominantly white political party, is big on getting this done. You know what I'm saying? So that's when my question starts falling into when why is it such a big deal, and why are you, like you said, abortion on one side and vitro fertilization on another side? It's all like, hey, you know what? We need to have all the babies we can have so we can keep these numbers up. That's what it looks like to me.
Or suppressing women's rights, because to me it's all about that is my decision, my body, my choice. And really who's actually going through it, like I said, whether it's IVF or terminating a pregnancy, it does fall on the female. But it seems like our voice is just suppressed, and we're just going to do what everybody tells us what to do with our bodies. So they keep talking about rights, and like I said, big government and
Yeah.
don't be intrusive. But this has gotten way, I don't know, extremely intrusive, if you ask me, in regards, especially with IVF. It's a very personal decision, a painful decision, and a financial situation that nobody has any business on besides the man and the woman who make a choice to do so.
And who does it affect? It affects suburban, professional,
right,
white.
Because you got to have money. It's $8,000 to $10,000. I mean, it's not like no dropping a bucket.
Exactly.
Money. You're paying.
They really want to have a baby.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe made plans to do it at this particular time in their life.
Right.
That's who it's affected. So,
So besides the woman or the parents or whatever, they're being definitely impacted by this. But how's it impacting the providers, doctors, their businesses, things like that?
Right. Well, we were talking about the criminal, liability that the physicians and that are going to have to take on and face. And if I was a doctor, I mean, you might want to think twice because you can lose your license. People don't understand, think about what you do to go to school to become a doctor. And now my license could be on the line if I participate or, try to assist a couple in having a baby. If I destroy an embryo and I'm trying to transfer it and something happens, and oops, I damaged the embryo, what's going to happen to me?
Yeah.
So as far as the big liability, I'm sure their insurance is going up.
Can they just change the process and be like, look, we could just gonna make one embryo at a time. Sorry. You know what I'm saying? Can they do that? I don't know.
They could do that, but you understand, like every time, like it's X amount of money every time with the procedure that happens. I don't think most people can afford that. So I get one embryo, one opportunity. I done paid $8,000. That's I don't know. I'm just saying that is something maybe people have to look at,
to
and
your
juggle.
point, Adrian, if they like these middle class people that got $8,000 to spend in a pot, well, I don't know what they do or don't have. You know what I'm saying? But if they do, I mean, I'm just saying everybody can't have a $10,000 diamond ring. All right, everybody can't afford it.
Right.
You know,
shop over here.
So if these people can afford it and do it one embryo at a time, it's an option. We just can't say, well, close our business. I'm like, okay, there's got to be some option. There's got to be something you can do. There's always an alternative. I don't know if it's the answer, if it's the right or the wrong answer, or if you make it that expensive, like to your point, are people going to be like, man, that's too much? Or are there people who are going to say, you know what? It's worth it to me. I'm a millionaire and I want to have a baby. So I'm going to spend $8,000 for each embryo, one at a time, so that this doctor is not putting himself at risk because he has to throw away the 3 extra ones if we're successful.
And I didn't look at statistics as far as like who actually, but typically it's suburban. I mean, it has to be people with money or some amount of, monetary means in order to do these type of procedures. So
I don't know walking into Planned Parenthood doing this.
Right. So I don't know that information, so I won't speak to it, but that might be something. I mean, doctors may have to look at that, or is it even beneficial for them? It might be something that I just no longer, not a service I'm no longer offering.
It might not even be worth it.
May not be worth it to them. Or again, that one embryo, what if I damage that one? Because you have to do a lot of transplantation. You know what I'm saying? So there's movement in the body.
Risk,
right. So the risk might be up there, and they're like, I'm not
having just one at a time.
Right.
Still.
I'm like, I don't want to take that risk on. Again, I don't want to go to court tomorrow because I damaged the embryo. Now you're trying to sue me or whatever the liability that I have to assume.
Yeah, I mean, it's another attack on science, man. When you want to say that, I mean, all what we're talking about is scientific. A lot of people did a lot of research to make it happen. A lot of trials were done, just like on a lot of things we talk about. When we started talking about the attack on science, it's another attack on science. Not only the doctors, but what about the lab worker? It's just the guy that's in there that does some of the research and stuff. And is he liable to go to prison because he dropped the embryo? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Why does it have to be to the point where it's so severe, to the point where we're going to change it and we're going to criminalize it now, to the point where nobody wants to touch it with these doctors? Just like abortion. They had abortion years before Roe versus Wade was done, and it was underground. You think that's going to go away now?
Right.
There's still some people out there that are going to still try to make money off of abortions because people still going to want to get to do them. We just came up with a legal way to get it done to the point where people won't be in no back rooms getting stuck with coat hangers. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Vitro fertilization, the same thing. I guarantee you, some doctor in Mexico is going to do it. You know what I'm saying? And somebody's still going to try to get it done. You know what I'm saying? Just ain't going to be able to do it here. You know what I'm saying? So it's like government-wise, we look at it from a political standpoint. While everything that's, and don't give me the, because this is the one thing that kind of pisses me off. Don't give me the biblical reason that's why you're doing things. That's bullshit. And I'll say that. God's not gonna give us nothing He don't want us to do. You know what I'm saying? Plain and simple. So let's take that off the table. I don't want you, oh, it's a biblical reason and all that. Now go somewhere with that, because same people say that don't love everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, and that's what religion is about. They have
about love.
and judgment. They judge
Right.
everybody. So I don't want to hear that. But now on this is a true attack on science on all levels. Like that's why it's here for. They're here to make life better for, make it easier for you. They're supposed to be able to help people that can't have babies for a reason. God wouldn't allow us to have that if He didn't want that to happen. I'm saying, you don't have the power to kill that. If He wanted to kill it, He'd kill it. Or she would kill it if you want to.
Right. And there's also genetic testing. Like I forgot about that too. They do implementation genetic testing to make sure there's nothing going on with the baby. What happens to those? What if something has some genetic disorder and the baby's only going to survive, a month? And then you try to destroy that embryo. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to be futile for you, so you don't use it. Now you're going to jail for that. You know what I mean? So we're actually trying to cure some diseases and some genetic disorders. And IVF does play a part or a role in that.
Well, one thing you won't go to jail for is clicking that like button.
Make
Make sure that you like this video and also subscribe to Left-Wing Kingz. Also, make sure that you share this content on all your social media platforms. So let me go ahead to the comments real quick and see what's going on in the world of YouTube. We got let's see. We got Carla Sizer here. She says yesterday was the last day of early voting and people still haven't voted yet. Super Tuesday is March 5th. Get out and vote. Don't say nothing.
No,
we gotta keep it rolling. We're already way late. We at 11:51. We way past time. So Peter J. Milton says this decision is just ridiculous. Yes, it is. Stephen McClintock on YouTube. What's up, Steve? He says you're also going to run into a situation to where when people do IVF, immortal embryos and indices not going to be able to abort any of them if there are defects
genetic.
or more or one of the child isn't viable, like Walanda said. Christina said IVF impacts the LGBTQ community as well. Dr. Sizer says vote, vote, vote. People need to stop voting against their own interests. Yes, definitely. And Peter from YouTube says usually the willingness to help one another, even in a professional setting, has dwindled immensely in the last 20 years.
Yeah.
It's a suing culture now. Yeah, that is too true. Now, with that being the case, I think we kind of touched on this, but I just want to give you an opportunity if you got anything extra to say. My question, if IVF helps people have babies and Republicans are against IVF, are they really pro-life?
No. It's just an oxymoron.
Aztec
like I said,
Cruz.
Right. Aztec Cruz. No, it's like splitting hairs here. So IVF, we're trying to have a baby, but now we got embryos and we, again, some genetic disorders going on. I can't destroy, or they're not viable. I can't get rid of them. It's just, I don't think they know what they want. I really don't. Like, to me, it's just about control. Can I control a woman? And I want to be able to tell them what to do when I want them to do it.
Yeah. And okay, let's have the baby has genetic issues, right? Had a baby, the baby grows up, but then let's shoot down the programs that's gonna help this baby. Like, what the hell is going on right here? Yeah, we ain't gonna fund them. You know what I'm saying? We defense funding. We got, we gonna help them out. You know what I'm saying? That's your issue, but go ahead and have them anyway. So our numbers can look good, so we won't be a minority. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, I think what they are is convenient. Whatever's convenient for them, that's what they are. You know what I'm saying? One minute I'm gonna talk pro-life, and the other time I'm gonna not talk pro-life, or I'm gonna try to make people do things against their will. I want big government. I don't want big government, but then I'm gonna do big government things. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give you big government energy. You know what I'm saying? So
I don't know if it's just like an Alabama thing, but from the federal perspective, a lot of the people in the House, a lot of people in Congress, Republicans, are kind of distancing themselves from this Alabama Supreme Court decision and saying, well, hey, we want people to have babies if they want to have babies. Now, they're not really speaking on the fact that the issue is like the embryo dying. They're not talking about that, because to Adrian's earlier point, they say hey, a life starts at conception or whatever the case may be. And this is a fertilized egg. So basically it's conceived, right? So they're not touching that part of it, but they're saying we want people to have babies. We don't want them not to have babies. So you want basically what you want is what I said earlier. They want the providers to keep doing it, but if you kill it, you're wrong.
Jail,
So I don't think that they really are very supportive
They ain't
of
thought it through,
pro-life
man.
at all.
That's
They
what
haven't
it
thought
is.
it through.
Yeah.
To your point. Now, let me ask you this. I just brought up a point that, you know, one versus the other. Is an embryo alive?
It is considered to be a form of life, but it doesn't define itself as personhood. So to me, there's just two different definitions, but it is considered to be life because it has the ability to grow. But personhood includes consciousness, self-awareness, rationality, and the capacity for moral, ethical reasoning. And obviously, you can't have that until you're outside the womb. So
Well,
it
babies
is
can't
life.
have that. Like a
you
newborn
know?
baby.
Well,
Well,
no,
none of those things you just
but
said.
it has a.
It's true. I mean, they
Well,
don't.
right? No,
Unless you
correct.
boss baby.
But it says biological functioning, metabolism, growth, adaptation, response to stimuli.
Well, those things the
So,
baby has.
You're right.
But the other ones.
But the other ones, no. You know, so it again, but it is a form of life. We can't say it's not a form of life. It's just a matter of, is it viable? I think of viability, and that's how I think my context is. Is it viable? Can it live without? I'm sorry, an 8 cell
weeks.
or 8 cell or even 2 months?
Mhm.
They're not viable. If a woman has a baby and has, you know, at 2 months, that baby's not going to be viable. They're not viable until after 4 months.
So
you know, pretty
what
much.
defines
So
viable to me?
viable meaning it can live outside the room. It's going to still continue to grow. It's going to have its arms, legs, brain functionality. At 2 months, it does not have that.
So
Doesn't
can it
even have
do
a
it at 3
heartbeat. You
months?
can't even hear. No, sometimes it depends on the weeks and stuff. But
Yeah,
I want to say
I'm just saying,
viability
we
is 4.
kinda
To me,
splitting
viability.
hairs.
No, viability to me is 4 months on. 4 months on. That's why some people are like, if you have an abortion, you need to terminate between a certain period of time, because after that, it is viable. Heartbeat, brain functioning. That's how I think. That's my opinion on the matter in regards to that. But at 2 months or something that's 8 weeks, again, equivalent to your 2 months, is not going to survive outside of you. So with that being said,
So 4 months to you.
4 months on.
We talking eggs, right? Pretty much.
I'm talking about like,
I'm just saying.
like growing
talking about
babies.
eggs.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's let's flip it.
Yeah.
Let's say we put this in sperm banks. You know what I'm saying?
Right. You kill sperms. You throw sperms away. You're killing them.
Oh yeah, it's a whole bunch of dudes
Condoms.
killing sperms.
Yeah,
on
you're
a
killing
daily
them, throwing them in the
basis.
trash. Right. You know what? I never thought about that.
Yeah.
Like your sperms. That is true.
There's a couple of us going to jail.
You going to
jail
jail.
last night.
He going to jail. I know that because he is tubes tied.
So I mean, no, we flip
murderers over
here.
here.
We go, you know, we put this on sperm banks. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, collect the sperm. It's cats killing sperm all day long, and that's part of the process also.
Well, I take it back. It's part of the process, but they're thinking the egg being fertilized, so the sperm would already be.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I mean,
It's
but
already
how
doing its
about
thing. But I
the 10
agree
million sperms that I have? One of them could have been a baby, right?
That is
Am I
true.
right?
You
know
could
what I'm
have.
saying?
Right. Wow, that's deep.
Yeah, that's deep, ain't
That's
it? You know
deep.
what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
All those condoms.
Could it turn that way? You know what I'm saying?
Well, next you're gonna come after suing contraceptives, right? Because condoms, what happens? It traps it, and then
the sperms
woo,
get thrown
y'all
in
in trouble.
the trash, in the toilet somewhere.
It's cats in porn killing sperm for a living. You know what I'm saying?
What I talk to you?
Oh my god. So Peter on YouTube says, so thinking about it for a moment, how will they view miscarriages?
Exactly.
That's what I remember. I talked to you about that. Is that the woman's fault, or the man's fault? You stress me out. Jobs, I'm suing, because that's what happens a lot of times. These women go to work and then they get overstressed, and then here we go, my body. Is that indirect? Is it like almost like manslaughter? You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't mean to. Oops.
I was thinking about like a woman who's during the pregnancy they have complications and lose the baby.
Like whose fault is that though? Is that her fault, or is it the
fault?
External stimuli's fault?
Is the nurse in trouble now? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Is the anesthesiologist in trouble? You know what I'm saying?
Is your job in trouble? Shouldn't have been at work. Look, stressing me out.
Hey,
Not being funny.
One person that is or might be in trouble is P. Diddy. And he ain't losing no sperm. He's fucking up sperm.
Speaking of sperm and shit.
Yeah. So
here we go.
Yeah. P. Diddy news isn't slowing down a bit as music producer Lil Rod is next in line to file a lawsuit against the music mogul, accusing him of sexual assault, harassment, and racketeering.
Take that.
Yeah, that's what he was saying. In the latest P. Diddy lawsuit, Lil Rod claims that Diddy forced him to live with them, groped him, drugged him, and made him engage in sex acts with workers and others. The Lil Rod lawsuit is seeking $30 million in damages. So Ace, What are your thoughts on the latest allegations against Diddy?
Wow. I mean, you know, wow. I mean, I'm gonna take it from a different perspective because I think Diddy, you know, I think Diddy, what they call it, I think that he's actually somebody, you know, what they're saying he does, and I think a lot of his actions outside did that. Even when he was doing the show, making people walk all the way to Brooklyn to buy him cheesecake, that just has a mannerism of that he's violating people. You know what I'm saying? But with the Little Rod thing, it's just a lot of crazy things that kind of run in my head. Is like forced him to live with him. Like, you a grown ass man, bro. Leave. You know, I don't get that. Like, I get what you're saying. What was the force like that? Is he can tie you up? Like, I don't. That's kidnapping, bro. If that's what it is. That's not like how do you get forced to live with somebody? Hey, man, you know what? I mean, I'm pretty sure Diddy don't live in the projects. You know what I'm saying? So I'm pretty sure you didn't want to leave, bro, wherever the hell Diddy was at. So not taking anything with Diddy. I firmly kind of believe that Diddy falls into some of the cases of some of these black celebrities where I got enough money to do what I want to. Let me see what I can get away with. So I think some of these allegations can be true. But there's some things that are said that I'm like forced to live with. Like, what are you talking about, man? I don't understand that.
Yeah, he has years of abuse. Like, I didn't even know until I started reading all the information about him and his allegations, and it's like allegation after allegation. And again,
Yeah.
like we said, where there's smoke,
Where there's smoke, there's fire.
there's fire. So you get, the Cassie. We all know about the human trafficking, and he settled out of court real quick
Sure did.
with her for money. It does bother me on the point. And again, I've never experienced these things, so I understand what Adrian's saying, but I don't think we understand their plights. Like, we haven't been a victim of sexual assault or molestation or rape or incest, so I don't know how I would react as an adult. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what I would do. It's like, white people with black experience. They're like, what do you mean there's racism? You're fine. You're doing well in life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if we can understand the situation. And so that's why we don't get why they did what they do. And at the time frame that they do it is all I'm saying. But when I looked, I said, so he has allegations with like J. Cole, like fighting just the violence and stuff. That was 2013, 2014.
Yeah, the fight with J. Cole?
Yeah. Drake punched him 2014. Cassie was 2023. Tiffany Red spoke up about Cassie's situation. So he has a lot of things that have happening. Gina Wynn alleges. So I was looking, I was like, man, he has allegation after allegation after allegation after allegation, more than what I knew of it. And so with that being said, I'm thinking there might be some truth in it. Again, a lot of it's coming at them on a monetary, but I don't know if the criminality is because I don't know, the victimization. I don't know. I don't know how I would react being part of some of the things that have been said here in the abuse.
The sexual stuff, I that's what I said. It's hard for me not to believe it. And I go with the MO thing. Like, it's like Bill Cosby. Like, people saying, well, Bill Cosby drugs me, blah. He's got an MO. Yeah. Well, he been drugging people since he was an I Spy back in the 60s. So all the way to Cosby Show to now, people keep saying that you drugging people. Like, you're probably doing that because all these people just didn't get together and start making shit up. You know what I'm saying? Somebody who you drugged back in the 60s, who's like in their 80s now, didn't call the girl that was now in their 40s back in the 80s and tell them, hey, let's come up with something with Bill Cosby. They probably just, well, oh, yeah, he did that to me too. I didn't know that. And I just thought something happened, but all of a sudden I was asleep. Next thing you know, I was in a plush robe, you know what I'm saying? Naked. I don't know how that happened. You know what I'm saying? That same thing with Puffy. Everybody keeps saying that you hire sex workers and watch them have sex with them. Like, it's kind of hard to believe all these people just came together and said, hey, you know what? Let's just start making this up on Puffy. No, nigga, that's what you're doing. That's your MO. So that makes a lot of what he's saying believable. I just know that just trying to play benefit of the doubt, we like to hit it from all angles on this show. Like, okay, some things, I believe. Some things like, okay, are you kind of deny because you want to make 30 million? You saying he made you live in this penthouse, nigga? Like, I don't know what you're saying. If you want to leave, why don't you just go? It's a penthouse. Like, now if we had allegations that he was tying people up and making them live in the basements, then okay, I can understand that. But part of, and you hit this last time we were talking about this. Like, you say, hey, I want to be in the music business, I want to be successful. How much are you also agreeing to do? And now you're salty. And now you're starting to say things like, he forced me to live with him. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Nah, you like the lifestyle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Shoot, I mean, you like the lifestyle, then
Right.
but you knew Puffy was freaky too. So
yeah. We're gonna get down that path.
Yeah.
We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that question in a minute. But what I want to talk about a little bit is you brought up Bill Cosby, and there's a bunch of people out there. It's not only Bill Cosby and Diddy. There's Michael Jackson, R. Kelly. What's up with these black celebrities abusing their power?
Oh man, God, and all of them kind of got their own little freaky, nasty story to come up with it. I mean, you know, they come to say with it. I don't have an answer to that. There's some nasty ass people out there. I mean, you know, and you know, the ladies here probably can agree. You got that family member in your family that you know you ain't gonna leave your kids with. You know what I'm saying? Most of them like, you know, we ain't gonna live with. Uncle Johnny, you know, Uncle Johnny nasty. And I'm just saying maybe some of these celebrities we got are part of that. No excuses. I just think, and this ain't even a racial thing. I just think that it's just people out there that have sexual deviance. You get the money and the power where you can do that and you play towards that.
Right.
Some people, I mean, and some people's sexual deviance comes in forms of abuse. And making people do things that they probably shouldn't be making them do, but since they got money and power, they exercise that. But that's criminal. And when you get caught, and especially when you have money and power, some people may let you do that at the time being, and then turn around and see an opportunity and advantage later on in life and jump on it. Right. And your defense can't really be, well, hey, you know what? I paid him and I told him to shut up. And, you know, and every situation we got, Bill Cosby, MJ, you know, R. Kelly, there was a monetary transaction, some hush money paid. Trump, hush money paid, you know what I'm saying? And the people renege on the hush money, and their defense is, well, I paid them, or you know, we had an agreement, or they had a non-disclosure agreement or whatever. But you know, unfortunately, you know what I'm saying? Like my granddaddy said, what comes out in the dark will come to light.
Yep, I say fame, privilege, and a lack of accountability.
Yeah.
And money rules the world. Like you said, they use money to hush these people up. And the victim does, you know, a lot of times accept that payment as retribution. And then maybe later on, I don't know what happens in their lives, but they probably didn't get the help that they needed a lot of times. And maybe they're just fighting their own demons. And that's why, you know, again, they ignore NDAs or just come to light years later and might come, I don't know, to fruition in other relationships. I can't answer that. Again, I'm not a victim.
That TMZ check looking real good, one or the other.
Right. You know what I mean? But I really do. I think it's fame, privilege, and there's no accountability for them. We have a lot of people who, until R. Kelly, went to jail, but a lot of them don't go to jail. Bill Cosby, I mean, he went to jail, but a lot of, like, again, there's more than these two sexual deviants running around. And we know that.
Oh, yeah. Harvey Weinstein. You know.
There you go.
So, it's crazy that, and I know we hear about these people because they're famous, they're celebrities or whatever.
Right.
But are these celebrities like just freaks, or is it the money? Like, which came first, the chicken or the egg type situation? Like you said, we all got somebody in our family that we know we don't leave the kids around.
Yeah.
Right. Was P. Diddy that person? Or did the money, he was just bored at home one day and said, fuck it, I'm gonna hire me some prostitutes. You know, I don't know. Like, was it the money that did it? Because he got money. This nigga got money on top of money. He ain't gonna worry about no money. He could just splurge on whatever the fuck he wants. So I'm just wondering, did he start off like that? Or was it the money that made him do these stupid ass things? Because all these people talk about rich.
Let's look at Diddy. I mean, I look at all these guys. Let's look at Diddy. Like, Diddy was messing with J-Lo. Like J-Lo still fine. You know what I'm saying? Like, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't, you know. So you talk about sexual deviance. Was it before?
Or was it the money that made him that way?
I think there was some deviance, but then I think there's both. I think that he probably, I don't know him personally. I mean, I'm pretty sure somebody can answer this better than me. I think the money allowed him to act on some things he wanted to do that he wouldn't have been able to do without money. You know what I'm saying? But was that urge there? I don't know. Like I said, all these people like have the power. I mean, or the wealth. I mean, they can be with some people that I would think should be able to satisfy them sexually in one way, shape, or form. I mean, you know, I don't know. I mean, to the point where it doesn't have to be deviant. But some of the things they're doing, it's like they're almost going out of their way because they do have the money. Like, hey, you know, like I can go to Epstein's Island. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because I do have the money. We're talking about the black celebrities, but the owner of the Patriots was caught up to something and they swept that under the rug. And he was going down to Florida, massage parlors and all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Because of the money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So I think that it's more like, you know, they may have that urge, but the money allows them to act on it and do things.
I'm with you. I think it's personal because I'm sorry, I don't hear anything about Denzel Washington over here trying to do something.
Watch your mouth.
Denzel, what you doing, Denzel?
That'll break your heart.
Sidney Poitier.
We
can't look at glory.
Stop, y'all. Like,
Denzel Washington groped his butthole.
No, he ain't groping
people. Sorry, Obama wasn't on the list. Just saying.
Hey,
you know, there's certain people. Bush, little dumb
Clinton
Bush.
was though.
Clinton was. I didn't say nothing about Clinton. I said Bush Jr. and Bush Sr. weren't seen on there. So I don't want to say that just because you're the money. I think you have some there's something going on with you. Okay. You got some sexual deviant behavior inside of them. I'm sorry. The more money I get, my husband now asked me to do nothing crazy because it ain't happening. He already know. Like this is no. Whatever. That's gonna be a no.
I don't think if your son got P Diddy money, your husband got P Diddy money, he's coming to you like, hey baby.
Yeah, he already.
Here's the thing. You're the only person I'm gonna be with in my life. So if we gonna try something, it's gonna be with you. You
yeah,
just
but
gonna
we
tell
ain't.
me no.
Nope.
That's the right answer.
Answer gonna be.
Yeah, you just gonna tell me no. That's okay. You
Yeah,
can tell me no.
But I don't think
we ain't
I don't think he's dropping $1 million on you like that to do something nasty. I'm just saying.
Some of the stuff we do already, people might think is nasty.
Boy, he is over here just telling. That is another episode, sir. Not for today.
But what's not nasty is clicking on the like button. Make sure that you click on the like button, okay?
And click on it like it's nasty.
Click on it like you're like touching, like you're groping an anus. And
oh my God!
That's one of the charges.
That's one of the charges. That's one of the things that Lil Rod alleges. But also make sure you hit the subscribe button to make sure you share this content on all your social media platforms.
Well,
so
I'm turning colors.
let me see what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, and go back on that, man. A lot of things that they doing is, you know, out of the pocket. Like, you know, R. Kelly sending people to the mall to pick up teenagers, and this dude, you know, hiring prostitutes to perform sexual acts with people so he can watch. I mean, there's always something like that. And Bill Cosby dropping roofies on people. You know what I'm saying? It ain't never nothing, you know, within the norm of just being nasty or just, you know, whatever kink you got. There's always something that you have to go outside of the law to do. Like almost like that sneak attraction is what they want. Like, you know, I'm breaking the law and I'm doing this.
Well, let me jump on these YouTube comments real quick. Christina, a girl, Tina is in the building, moderator in charge. She says, it's $30 million the going cost for these types of lawsuits, or is it because he paid old girl that much? You know, that make it kind of real, you know, don't sound like something going on.
That's anus groping money right there.
That's groping funds. And then Dr. Larry Size, it said, if you're an adult and you're not held against your will, you're willing. To your point about Lil Rod staying in the house with his ass. And I mean, that kind of goes into
that's actual charge though.
Yeah. So
he forced me to stay with him.
Like, so that's kind of like goes to my next question. It's like when a boss or celebrity asks you to do something, why don't you just say no if you don't want to do it?
Fear of consequences and repercussions, especially when it comes to their career. Again, I'm strong, so I ain't worried about none of it, but there's not everybody who has that strong will. I guess they feel, you know, those consequences there. And just think about it. If you're in a leadership role, most people aren't going to tell you no about anything. Like I'm thinking about if I wanted to abuse my power, which I would not, but people are afraid to tell their boss no, or somebody empowered over them to say no. I'm not either, but there are people who are afraid, especially when it comes to their career. And that's what these music people, they're thinking, I'm going to kill and there has been careers that have been, you know, decimated based upon other people telling
like his
them no.
butthole was decimated. if I don't stop this man if I stop him from groping my anus, I'm not gonna get this record deal.
If I leave,
I don't want to talk to
him.
If I leave and don't bend over.
To your point, that's what he's thinking.
Maybe I you know, I'm not him again. He really wanted to elevate his career by any means.
He was elevating shit, all right.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
He was elevating something.
Why y'all pick this topic?
Hey, no, but check it out though. Like, yeah, I mean, we talk real life. It's easier for you to probably say, you know what, you know, fuck this $14 now. I'm out of here. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So these people are sitting around and a lot of what's happening. You always hear it in the entertainment business, right? You always hear like, you know, movie stars and these
Casting
singers and stuff
couch shit.
that got to go through this and people abusing their power there. And that's because they're chasing the fame and the fortune and stuff like that, you know. So I think there's a difference, almost an expectation sometimes, right? That some of these people think they go into the career these careers, they may have to do something extra to get ahead. And we know all the Hollywood stories that are out there. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you can say no, but then some people are looking at like, all right, you know, and you know, if I do XYZ and I stay at his house without leaving, you know, then I'm gonna elevate my career in entertainment.
So here's my thought on that, man. And you're right. I'm not arguing your point. You are 100% right. There's people out there who they want the fame, they're shooting for it, and they're gonna do what they can to get there. I just wonder about people's confidence in themselves. If you're a singer and you know you good, then you shouldn't have to say yes to doing something outside of singing, right? If they want you to live here or have sex with a person or whatever, do you have confidence in your own skill set to say, you know what? I'm just going to wait and get another deal somewhere else, because you ain't the only producer. You ain't the only music mogul in town. I could go somewhere else if I believe in myself, right? And then secondly to that, you are degrading your own, not your own confidence, but your own stance with that person.
Yeah.
Like, what does P. Diddy think about Lil Rod right now? Not because he's trying to sue him, but because of what he let him do to him.
Yeah.
You know what he's saying? He's like, nigga, you ain't nobody. You're nobody. You're nothing. I can just tell you to go fuck this girl over here and you'll fuck her, or have sex with this man and you will, or you just stand there and I'll grope you, you know, and you won't do nothing about it. Like, you're demeaning yourself.
Yeah.
And this person don't care. It's obvious that this person don't give a shit about you if they're doing you like that. Like, think about artists like, I don't know, Alicia Keys. I don't know what she has or hasn't done, but she seems like a strong person to me, that she wouldn't let somebody just take advantage of her or do things to her. I don't know. Maybe she did. Her seems like a strong person. You know, she's very talented. Somebody gets in front of her, like, damn, she can sing and play the guitar and do this and that. You ain't gonna you're not gonna fuck up something with her because you want her in your camp. You're not gonna make her do shit she don't want to do. She'll walk away because she's confident in herself, probably.
Yeah.
So I just think it's demeaning. And once you let yourself be demeaned like that, you're just trash. They get rid of you, do whatever to you. That's why he got a shitty ass contract, probably.
Yeah.
Because I ain't do whatever to this motherfucker.
He did say too, Little Rod made a statement saying that P. Diddy told him this is like normal practice in the music industry. Like, this is an expectation that you do. Him being young, maybe that's what he thought. I don't know.
Well,
like you're saying, I'm not in the music industry, but maybe that was his perception of, you know what, these are the things that everybody does. This is what they do. So here I am. I got to get on. I got to get on just like everybody else. This is my end.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because even with the Cat Williams thing, he mentioned something about Harvey Weinstein coming at him funny. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I believe it my somewhat dabble in, you know, in entertainment. There's a lot of talented people out there that hit a brick wall. You know what I'm saying? Whatever reason. I don't know. It's because they ain't sleep with the right person, whatever. There's a rumor and there's a joke that says that. But I believe that in your case in point, there's singing, you know, you can sing real good, but there's a lot of people out there that can sing good and are talented, you know. So sometimes, you know, sometimes I think it's more hard work. Like, yeah, you can sing, but what else are you doing to kind of, and I'm not saying sexual or anything like that. I'm saying, what are you promoting yourself? Are you out there in front of people or whatever?
People.
I think that plays a part into it too. But then I think some people do have a perception that, hey, you know what, to make it bigger, I'm going to have to mess with or get with the right person or be attached to the right person. However I can be. And then I think there's sexual predators. That's the word I was looking for earlier. That are in positions in this industry that take advantage of that. Like, I don't think that let's think P. Diddy. I don't think that when he was working with Mary J. Blige, she had to sleep with him when he was with Uptown or whatever, to get that going. You know what I'm saying? Because probably how she presented herself. But I guarantee you, if somebody came and, like you said, they allowed Diddy's sexual predator side to play a part in that. He took advantage of that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, how are you presenting yourself?
Exactly.
Right. To allow, be
Like,
allowed.
and I'm not saying Lil Rod was over there bending over, letting him grope his anus, but if he gave him an open door somewhere, somehow just on a drunk night or whatever,
right.
Next thing you know, that relationship didn't change because his sexual predator side came out. You know what I'm saying? And I think there's a lot of people in this industry, Weinstein and a lot of these guys that get, Cosby, all these people that were doing that because of their position, that part of their life came out. But the victims also kind of let that be aware that's allowed, because there's a lot of people that work with these people that didn't have that problem.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
You're right.
So
exactly, and it's about, like you said, how you present yourself, what you allow, what you don't allow, setting ground rules, whatever the case may be. Like, they could be somebody a lot less talented than Lil Rod that maybe walked away from P. Diddy because he tried some shit with him one night or something. Or maybe he just told him, that ain't me. You want to work with me, you're gonna have, this is a business and we're gonna keep it there. So you never know.
Yeah.
But to that end, I mean, these are some crazy allegations. And if you read the filing, there's a lot of people that are being described, not named, they're redacted from it. Like, some of the people are described as like a Grammy Award singer who was dating a bohemian and was very involved with her and got in a fight with her in a vehicle. Well, who's that? Chris Brown, right?
Yeah.
So there's like other people that were supposedly, like, did you say Meek Mills? And
Meek Mills is on there.
Like all kind of people that they got in these
world,
allegations. So it's pretty broad, the people he's talking about. Do we think it's really happening, or you think Lil Rod is just mad because of his contract and he didn't get some of the money that he wanted, his publishing and stuff like that?
With P. Diddy, I think it's happening, and he's trying to brand himself. You heard he changed his middle name to Love.
Who?
P. Diddy. He changed his middle name to Love. Like,
Wrong
he
name,
understand. Bro. Thank you. Like, brotherly love. Brotherly love. I'm just saying, and that's his new brand. I'm like, so I know he knows or understands. There's too many allegations going out there. And I said, I don't know if everything's true, but there's a lot. And I think when Cassie came out, it really showed something, because she got her own money. She's married to somebody with money too. So she got money, married to somebody with some money.
She got more money.
More money. Right. So she's okay. And so when people start coming out there and saying, oh, well, it's just about money. But then when people already got money, it's like, maybe it's just not just about money. Maybe she's bringing truth to the light. Maybe she's tired of seeing these other victims. Because some people want all of a sudden, I saved myself, so let me save you. And so she might have come to, she's a grown woman now. At the time, she was a child. Well, she was young. I'll put it that way. She wasn't a child, like you say, but she was 18, 19. She was young, very young.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Now she's
40s.
grown. Yes. And now she's a woman now, and might have done a lot of reflection and seeing things that she's like, this would never be okay. And if this man is continuing, if he's a sexual predator, then I need to say something, because I'm empowered to do so now.
Yeah.
So that's my thing on P. Diddy. I think there's too much smoke, just like other people we know. Too much.
Yeah.
Too much.
Yeah, they got my man. And look, I love Meek, man. Love Meek to death. But yeah, he got too many matching outfits and shit like that.
Did you say matching outfits?
He got matching outfits with Puffy. They got it all over the internet, man. Like, and then they got, 50 Cent, he was taking people shopping. They got, they murdering my man. And I'm a Meek Mills fans, but it's some suspect shit going on right there. Like, I got a lot of homies. I don't never know outside of a sporting, we're on a flag football team situation where we was matching. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right. It's different from
like, not no outfits.
Okay.
Like we going out to the club, we're gonna have the same outfit on.
Yeah. That's different.
Like, I might borrow your shirt. You know what I'm saying?
Right. But not on the same day that you got one though.
Yeah. And if I do, I'm changing, bro.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we might wear the same color.
Right.
On accident or something like that.
But not twinning.
No, I'm talking about some like,
right.
How does it got the same outfit on and pose for a picture for it? I have no idea, dog. And I don't know, maybe they was doing some kind of special promotion or something. Right. I'm taking it out of context, but it's just, and what they wearing is also like, that ain't no like nothing you be doing a promotion like the same t-shirt or something. It's an outfit. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all thought about that shit together.
And my thing is, just be yourself at this point. Like, don't nobody care. If this is you, rock you. Be you. That's my thing. I mean, I don't understand why this little undercover brother stuff is going on. I'm like, if this is you, this is you. We're in a different world now. Don't nobody care. But people do care about is you trying to, finagle people. That's one thing. If you're just being a sexual deviant and this person's unwanting to be a participant, that's a problem.
Yeah.
And-
So let's go ahead and get this closed out for the day. We overtime, but thank you all. Great
We on
conversation.
CPT today.
We got a few comments here that I want to close out with. Steve McClinic on YouTube says, we as a society need to hold these people accountable and stop financially supporting them.
Right.
Yes, we do. Dr. Larry Sizer said, maybe the people are repeating what they already experienced. Maybe Puffy had his anus played with.
I said that too.
He
Like, he
was
could
a
have been a
gropey.
victim.
Andre Harrell was up there just groping his ass.
He was
and
a
then now
gropey. Now
well,
he's a groper.
I've been groped.
But that's what happens a lot
I
of
need to
times.
grope others.
I
But that's
can't get over
that's
that
what
word
happens,
grope.
right?
Yeah.
Like they become victims and then they
Yeah,
do the
that is
same
true.
thing.
That is very
Mhm.
true. And then
He's
Steve
just
says,
like-
the problem
Mhm.
is, the problem is it for such a long time before YouTube and before social media, people like him were gatekeepers into the music industry. And if you got blackballed by them, you had no
Mhm.
career.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you don't want to get blackballed. You want them to play with your black balls. Okay.
Oh, wow.
So
Bye.
this is how we gonna close out the episode right now.
He sure
All right,
playing on the
I want to
words
thank
today,
everybody.
boy.
I want to thank everybody out there on Facebook and YouTube. Dr. Larry Sizer, Dr. Carla Sizer, we got Peter Milner, we got Steve McClinic. I want to thank all you guys for joining us and chiming in on contest. Of course,
Yeah.
Tina Booker in the house holding me accountable, trying to keep me on time, but I
He
really
wasn't
screwed that
listening
up.
today. He wasn't listening
Uh,
today.
The conversation was really good. My bad. I want to thank my queen Walanda for always getting on here with all the stats and all the facts and all of the woman's side of the story. And then also my man Ace for bringing the interesting conversation and the funny business.
Yeah,
to
stop all the
combo.
groping out there. The ass groping needs to stop.
It needs to stop. We need to put an end to this ass groping. And I'm going to end the episode like that. Thank y'all for watching. We'll see you next week. Oh, matter of fact, we'll be back in 2 weeks because we're going to be on a cruise. So see ya.
No. I guess he left.
Yeah.